Darn it. Really, phone? Oh, come on, get on there. Stop blocking the orientation. Oh, I hate YouTube. No, I don't. Oh, this ain't gonna work. Do you have to help, Kat? I mean, seriously? Do I need your help? What have I got that's heavy? How do I unlock the orientation? Oh my God, I hate this. So did I have to hang myself upside down to just set up this live chat? Can you move? Go. Oh, man, I'm annoyed now. I can't fix this. Serious? Oh, yeah, sure. This is annoying. Come on, let me do this. Excuse me, everyone, while I fight with my camera. I think I got it. Looks like I may have it. All right. Let's see if we actually are live. Shall we? Camera's a little far away. Can I zoom? Yes. Yes, I can. Sorry, guys. This is the first time doing this. And my light's a little too bright. Sure, YouTube's not going to respond. Here we go. Just checking to make sure. Awesome. Okay, well, everyone, my camera in this precarious position. This is Christina Blackfeather. I am live today, trying to figure out the orientation on this here because my camera is up in the air. Because I figured that would work better than what I have done previously on my other drawing hangout, and hopefully this is going to save to the channel today. I don't want this to be a wasted effort. But today I'm just going to be working in black and white, but I thought I'd show the one piece that I'm doing for my gaming videos. This is going to be part of my introduction. I made myself into a pony just because I was a lark. The blue creeper shirt is actually part of my my Minecraft skin, so I had to go with that. And my son's Green Razor headphones don't work so good for recording, so that's out of the question. Currently, I am not using a headset because my phone is plugged in for this, so the sound may be kind of off and on. And I apologize in advance. Then, yeah. So I have a few I'm working on today. Usually I had stated earlier or previously that I work in pencil first, and then I go to inking and ink, and then just clean everything up. After I get the ink on, I erase the pencil, and then I go on to the color work that I had showed you. Let me still see if I can get some of this light adjusted here. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon where I'm at, so it's kind of goofy trying to figure out my lighting, because I am at an east window. All right, where? That isn't it. Boy, this camera is funky. I'm scared to touch this. You should see how precariously balanced this whole thing is. That's not helping. Doggone it. I need room to work. This should give me some room to work. Except you guys can't really see any of this. Doggone it. I am not having a time with this. Seriously. No, actually, I am having a time with this. Okay, it's not liking the orientation of this, but YouTube keeps griping if I have the orientation the way I want it. Picky YouTube. Dug on YouTubes. Okay, I think I might have it. Please do not help Oscar. This isn't about cat decorating or purring. This is not a hangout about the Oscars. Well, not a hangout, but a live stream. All right, did I get it this time? I wanted this so you guys could see what I was working on, but this is not convenient. This is pretty infuriating, actually. Yeah, as soon as I tried to adjust the camera, it turned around and said orientation was locked, and then it wouldn't let me do anything else. Sorry for the sudden view of chainmail there. This is not going to help. Anyone has any suggestions for me? I'd really, really like some. Because this has just got me absolutely flabbergasted here. Let's see, can I adjust this ball this way? Here we go. Still going to be the wrong orientation, but that means in order for you guys to see it, I'd have to draw with it upside down like this. I don't know. We'll see. I end up turning these quite a bit anyway. Okay, make sure that my laptop is not going to suddenly go to screensaver. All right. So, what I've been doing is just working on this one. I had, I think, attempted to do this on a live stream, and it didn't. No, this was one that I was actually drawing on camera. So my last short drawing video, this was the dragon horse. And all I'm doing right now is just penciling in things that I'm going to ink over later to have, you know, different details. If you can see it well enough, I've got the lines started for flames for the mane. And let's clear up these horns here, or antlers actually. I don't know why I decided that this had to have deer antlers on a kind of a dragon horse, but you know, it's a thing, whatever. Anyway, I did go to a pagan event this last weekend, which was kind of a bust. For my weaving class, I only had 5 students. I was a little, or 6 students. I was a bit disappointed. The event was pretty expensive to begin with, so it was very, you know, there wasn't a lot of kids there, and it's hard to get kids into rituals and things like that. And you know, there's things like tarot card readings, and there was a lot of you know, there was groups singing and stuff like that, but there was a lot of vendors and an art show and stuff, and it was actually really nice. It did end with me actually pinching the nerve in my back, and I got to where I had to have help just getting my stuff to my truck, because I had cases of supplies that had to be loaded. You guys can't see where I'm working, can you? And how I got back walking to my truck, I don't know. Oh my God, I was in so much pain. So I didn't get to enjoy the event as much as I would have liked to. Although it was pretty amusing, because there was a Chris Helmsworth lookalike there, and well, he wasn't trying to be a lookalike. He just happened to be one. It was pretty cool. I was just fangirling so bad. Got a picture with him. They actually were Norse pagans, or heathens, as Ocean Keltoy says, because that's what he is. And these guys would show up in their Viking group, and you know, they did their own rituals and stuff like that. So they were wearing the furs and, you know, stuff like that. And it just, oh my God, he looked pretty amazing, and really, really tall. Of course, I'm only 5 foot, so anybody's really, really tall to me. But anyway, thankfully, because it's a paid event, unlike the free event that I do every September, you avoid the street preachers and you avoid stuff like that, because the tickets are kind of expensive to get in. And I still had to pay to get in, even though I was one of the presenters. And I don't know, that kind of didn't make me very happy, but you know, I think if I volunteer at this next year, it's going to be, I'm going to do a couple of classes so that I can pay more of the ticket, because couldn't afford to get my husband in, plus Sunday I wasn't walking very good anyway, so it would not have been enjoyable again. Sorry, had to take a sip of pop. Caffeine, gotta wake up. So, I had fun with it, but, you know, there were some things that kind of got to me. Now, I identified as Wiccan for a very, very long time. And when I was Christian, part of the problem that I was having was with organized religion in itself. It's something I don't enjoy. And really, really never have. And it's because I just had bad experiences with organized religious groups. And like, I never understood Christianity's thing with, well, you have to abide by this law, and you have to be this denomination, or you have to be this denomination. And, you know, over the years, I have encountered where people have said, you know, you're not a real pagan, or you're not a real Wiccan unless you've been accepted into this this tradition and stuff like that. And for a while, I mean, this last year, I was going to start the initiation process into the Alexandrian tradition. And I don't know. I guess, you know, real life has gotten in the way considerably. For those who don't know, my husband has MS, and there's some days that it's harder for him to work than others, so I've been having to pick up more and more hours, and that's getting very difficult to do anything outside of work. Where am I here? Up here. And so, you know, dedicating yourself to a particular tradition, it does take time and effort and study and things like that. And there is a lot of study to be had for magic. And especially, you know, like these guys do Greek form of the Kabbalah, stuff like that. And it just, there is an awful lot of work involved. And I don't know that if I'm going to continue with my art business and stuff like that and being an artist, do I want to go that far, or do I want to just be a pagan? Because over the years, I mean, I do have an altar, although that's getting moved up into my bedroom because I have a huge bedroom. Very, very big. But I'm not one for doing ritual at home. I have a hard time trying to study because I don't know. I'm having a hard time with pagan books. To me, studying, I've been watching videos, because at work, you know, I'm charting and stuff like that. I have a lot of downtime, but I'll have the headphones on and I'm listening to things like a narration of ancient Greek mythos and stuff like that. But then also, you know, I'm around science, live chats, and things like that. And some of the hard time that I'm having is that, you know, part of the witch's read, or whatever you want to call it, is that we are supposed to know the world that we're in. And that's part of our responsibility for that sort of thing. And I just, you know, to me, that's not, let's not sit there and deny science and go into total woo here. There's reality, there's certain facts of our world that are a thing, you know, and to go and turn around and instead think that okay, David Avocado or Wolf is saying something I like to hear, so that's reality, or, you know, things like that. It just really, really bothers me because that's not reality. That's not critical thinking. And I've gotten more and more into the being very critical lately. And the more I learn, the worse I'm getting. And it's taken me back to my roots of learning science and all of that stuff. I mean, I grew up with an understanding of genetics because I lived on a horse farm. We bred horses. We bred for specific traits, not just color. You know, there was specific conformation. There was things that we were doing. Oh, hi, Blue. There were things we were doing on the horse farm that, you know, pertain very strongly to genetics and inheritance and even evolution, because yeah, humans have changed the course of evolution on a lot of animals. I think we're getting to the point we're going to be changing evolution on ourselves. But there are a lot of pagans out there that seem to think that this needs to be, you know, every bit of woo is what's acceptable. And I'm just having such a difficult time with this idea. And what really kind of hit it home for me this weekend at this event was that, okay, they had the one group standing there and they're singing in the lobby of this hotel, and it's the same single note song. It kind of a chant, but they're talking about the wind blowing through the trees. And I was listening to it for a bit, and then there was a guy who was holding a class on doing fairy masks and stuff. I'm probably going to get shot down by the pagan community about this one. And was telling kids, okay, on identifying fairies and things like that. And I don't know, it's just bugging me. I came home and I told my husband that it is indoctrination, and I'm having a hard time with that. When I went there and taught my class, I was teaching the history of weaving and how it pertained to, you know, to ancient cultures. And I didn't get, well, one kid did a project that did relate to fire and ice, which was the theme of the event. And that was his choice to do that, and that was just fine, you know. And my kids did some of that stuff too. But there were points where they had, where they were teaching specific religious things to the children there, and I'm sitting there in this lobby watching this, and I'm like, how is this any different than what Christians are doing to their kids? My kids had a different upbringing. I mean, my daughter is studying Satanism, LaVeyan Satanism. My son is Catholic. My husband is agnostic, leaning towards Buddhism. I'm a witch. And yeah, my kids had been to coven rituals over the years and stuff like that. They also went to Catholic church. They went to an evangelical church, which they never wanted to go back. Thankfully, I didn't either. They went to Lutheran. Both got, because my ex switched to Lutheran, so they both got baptized and confirmed as Lutheran. I've never been baptized. My husband was raised as Methodist. There were so many different religions at my wedding. It was just funny. You know, it was entertaining as all get out. So I tried to, I know my ex didn't, but I tried to avoid indoctrination. It's like, okay, this is what your mother observes. Okay, you know, explore, do what you want, you know. You're going to find your own way. That's something that my mother had an absolute fit with me because I was interested in Greek and Egyptian mythology. I didn't want to study anything from the Bible. That was boring as heck. And so I'm watching this, and doggone it, it is indoctrination. And I'm sitting there just like, what are these children going to learn, and what are we going to determine is responsibility to learning? I'm going to try and work in this spot over here if I can find it. There we go. Almost. Oh, this camera is weird. And, you know, we have such a massive thing about anti-science and anti-medicine, and New Age movement has mixed so strongly into paganism that the anti-science is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's just, I don't know what to make of it anymore. I don't know what to make of myself anymore. I don't mind going to these things, you know, and I mean, I face paint at the one event, and that's fun because I'm painting on kids that are just visiting the park. I'm not doing a specific group that had to pay to get into an event or something like that. And that's fine. I enjoy that. I'm not telling children what to believe. And I think it really, the whole thing just kind of really shocked me, my whole perspective on my own faith. And I was at this event and I felt like so much of an outsider. Now, I've been a solitary this entire time. As I said, before, I have a coven that I sometimes go to. I dedicated myself as Wiccan as a solitary way back when my daughter was born. It was after that, at Yule, or I should say Christmas time. I was dancing around in a circle singing, and had just lit the tree. I put up the tree, lit it, did all that stuff. So it was kind of like my own celebration. And I saw a figure of Selene, of the moon goddess, in my living room window in the apartment. And she was standing there watching me, glowing absolute silver, you know, this female figure. It was incredible. But I was still by myself. And it wasn't something my ex-husband shared. He tried to use it against me in court, actually. So, yeah. That was definitely something he didn't share. But, it's just, I had always been that way, but this time I felt more like an outsider to my own religion than I have ever felt. Because I guess I have become so skeptical that I didn't know where I belonged anymore, if I actually belong anywhere. Which is probably fine. I still get to be my own person, you know? Again, I don't have somebody telling me what I have to believe, when I have to practice, what I have to practice. Yeah, exactly, Paranor. Hi, sweetie. I love that we're going to have the live chat replay. I'm happy. But yeah, he said, see Jesus in toast just fine. See goddess in a window must be cray cray. But anyway, it just amazed me how much of an outsider I felt in my own faith, and this makes me question where I'm going. I definitely, I do believe in multiple gods. I have more than Christians do. Yay! I have these things. I'm a very I guess I've moved on to being a spiritual person versus a religious person. And I have all these things that, I have my own personal faith, but it's really hard for me to actually voice the concept of what's going on. I don't think I ever would be an atheist or anything. Yeah, Paranor says spiritual much better than mindset than religious. I think so. I mean, I've worked in nursing homes, I've worked hospice, I've worked oncology, psychiatric. The experiences that I've had in my career alone, I do believe very strongly in a spiritual world. I mean, I've seen things that freaked the shit out of me, and not just me, but a whole group of people at once at the one psychiatric hospital I worked at. And it was pretty scary crap, so it I don't think I'd be able to let that go. And from what I'd seen, Aaron Roz even had kind of experiences like that. But it's like, now, do I want to finish even setting up my altar, or just make it, set up all my pretty stuff and have a nice little space to just enjoy, I think that's the route I'm probably going to go. I have Egyptian statues. I have my expensive crystal ball. Oh my God, my crystal ball is extremely expensive. I made time payments with Franklin Mint on that thing. It's really expensive. But, to just set up my space and call it mine, and then what do I do with all these religious books that I have? I have so many books on witchcraft and Wicca and things like that. And it's like, I would rather be going back and studying biology and maybe cultural anthropology. And the thing I'm having a problem with is that, like, these books on Wicca and paganism and all these things that are published, and I have a lot of books by Llewellyn Publications and stuff, but it's all modern stuff. It's how much of it is just made up. It's not real. It's not actual history. It's a lot of it is marketing and made up stuff. And that's where I'm having the thing. It's like, do I waste my time reading this stuff? I could read the Bible and get more out of it, because at least it's a historical document in the fact that, not that there's actual history in it, but the fact that it is old enough, it is part of one people's culture, and it's a good way of looking at how they viewed the world. I guess that's the best way I could say it. Yeah, Paranor says, I'd say 50% made up, the other has been appropriated to fit. I think so. And once the New Age movement came in, that just made it all the worse. And that is just annoying as all get out. This page is actually another coloring book page, so this is going to get inked, and then that is it. So now I'm working on putting in the details that I'm going to ink over later to give people lots of stuff to color. Let's see, where is it? That's where I am. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Paranor says it's just like Christianity. New Age to religion is akin to conspiracy theory to skepticism, in my opinion. Oh, hi, Steve! Okay, how do I do this? Can I... Oops. How do I make Steve a moderator? I don't know how, I don't want to do anything that's going to make me leave this. Here we go. Add moderator. Yay! Paranor says it's all a bell curve. Yeah, so anyway, I don't think I would ever become an atheist or anything, but I have been extremely skeptical of things. And you're welcome, Steve. I've just become so skeptical. I want to see evidences. I want to see how things work. I don't want somebody telling me that diet's going to cure all for cancer and things like that, you know. That's not reality, that, you know, and I want to be able to set foot in both the worlds, and that means, you know, I still have my spiritual self and I'm still pagan, but I'm independent, and I'm able to walk in this world too, which means, you know, science is a real thing. You know, we can't deny the things that we've discovered. And I'm very happy because both of my kids are going on for engineering. My son is going for aerospace engineering. He's in college for that. Yeah, Paranor says science, it works. Biatches. I'm trying to make sure the YouTube gods don't get angry with me. The YouTube gods are a thing. They're real. Doggone it, they can destroy your channel if you're not careful. So anyway, I've got kids who are critical thinkers, and I'm very pleased with that. But it was just seeing what I saw this weekend. And they had lectures and things on dealing with, connecting with different forces in the astral world. And I mean, it was just, I didn't get to attend any of it because I blew out my back like 2 hours after my class ended. Steve Bowman says the YouTube gods can smeg off. Yeah, and there's a lot of YouTube people who have ego of the gods. Oh yeah, Tommy Hall. But I don't know how much of that culture even I can be part of anymore. Do I just go on my way as an artist and a budding author and be the old witch in the woods and enjoy my time at the Renaissance festivals? You know, I think that's more who I am. And I don't know if I will be back to this event even, because it was expensive. And to only have 5 students, I mean, oh, pardon me, 6. One took off way early, so kind of hard to count him. But I don't know. I spent 3 weeks of prep work for this thing and had nobody. Yeah, Paranor says believer and non-believers on YouTube, same coin. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat on my computer because my phone is what's hanging up in the air. And Steve said Tommy Hall, now he's all triggered. And he said you do you, ain't nothing wrong with isolation. Yeah, and Paranor says he still does ritual with Moses, though. Puff, puff, pass. Anybody knows me, I'm sorry, there's a lot of nurses out there that we are for marijuana in general, not just medical. There's a lot of medical benefits that can be had for pain relief and seizure reduction. It's not a cure-all. Nothing is, but it also could contribute a lot to, as long as people aren't overdoing it, just like everything in moderation. But it is far less worse than general cigarettes and stuff like that, and definitely alcohol when you got all these people being out in the roads. So there's a lot of nurses that I work with that are very for the legalization of marijuana, and I am not shy to say that I am one of them. So yeah. Kids that I've worked with, though, that have had medical marijuana for seizure reduction still also have to have other seizure medications. But these are kids that will have up to 50 to 75 seizures a day. And that many seizures cause brain damage. So, yeah, it's something, we need this really bad in Minnesota. Yeah, Paranor says he smokes because of the medicinal. He's got stuff going on that he needs it. But it touches the effects of his PTSD. That's where I think that would probably benefit me too, because there's sometimes I just react very rough to things that make absolutely no sense. I know for any medical procedures they have to sedate me, you know, just to go get an MRI because I freak out. Let's see. Steve says he has a cabin in the woods up north to avoid humans. I'd rather risk bear attacks than talk to some people. Paranor says has to move to Canada. Then at least bear poop is easy to handle. Human poop is like dealing with a bear trap. Oh, wow. Steve's sister has 40 acres up in Canada. I just have a house in Minneapolis, but at some point we're looking at the RV thing and we're planning on traveling, because on our honeymoon, being in a car for 2 weeks together, just my husband and I, that was awesome. Most people would kill each other. We had the best darn time. Oh yeah, Paranor, RV, road trip, and more Renaissance festivals, and selling chainmail, and dragons. I am constructing another dragon, too, that I have to needle felt. I'm just working on the armature and wrapping the body right now. She's going to be a lot heavier than Cecil. And the one lady wants her, but if she ends up not getting sold, I'll probably try to, you know, just keep peddling her at different places and carry her around. But for my wool dragon Cecil, I still have to make a gauntlet for him yet, so that I can have him, you know, held. But he sits on my hand really nice. Oh yeah, oh you know that that RV's gonna get decorated, Paranor. You know it. My mother couldn't stop decorating her Ford truck to the point of Ford came out and had her park it in the pasture with the horses, and they took photos of it for their brochures, because she had her running horses along both sides of the truck. So, yeah, oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm not. It's like an 8-hour drive to get to the UP for me. No, no truck nuts. Anyway, my daughter lives in the UP and is going to college up there. So it's a long haul for me. And last time we did it was in a dinky little car. But this time, if we go out there again, it won't be in a dinky little car because after my husband got diagnosed with the MS, my father-in-law turned around and gave us a brand new Jeep Compass. So not four-wheel drive because that would have been a lot more expensive, but because my car is still sitting. The battery's dead now. It needs a full brake job. I had just gotten the muffler replaced. Of course, everything that went on the car that was stuff that was not on my Max Care million mile warranty. So once I got the muffler fixed, then the brakes went. And yeah, it's still sitting there. But, and then the Chrysler 300, still, the suspension went out because Tires Plus screwed it up a few days before our wedding. So on the Renaissance Festival grounds, the car died, pretty much. The suspension dropped. It actually fell on the ground. Oh yeah, my daughter's at the tech up there. Oh, I'm gonna have to bookmark that. Let's open that link in a new tab. Some news on MS. Page not found, BBC News. Why is it doing that? Oh, there it goes. No, it said the page isn't found, dear. Huh. Yeah, my husband's having a really, really bad time with it. There's days it takes him down and he can't work. He's driving for Lyft, so at least he can do his own schedule. And if he's having a bad MS day, he just doesn't clock into the app, you know. So that's been kind of a blessing for us, but it's hard for me. I mean, I'm in pain enough myself all the time. And it's hard for me to watch because he doesn't want to take any medications right now because that would prevent him from working, and he is making a lot of money as a Lyft driver. If he takes the pain medication they want to give him, he will not be driving. And so he's taking Tylenol and ibuprofen. And it's not cutting it. So there's times I'm sitting here watching him be in a lot of pain, and there isn't crap I can do about it. And I can't afford to go in and get my back looked at and get my neck fused because we have too many bills. I went through a 3-year divorce and I was in a ton of debt. And yeah, we were naughty and took a big loan out for our honeymoon. But I have 3 bills up to $1,000 being paid off this year, and I have to make it that long. But in the meantime, nurses, I'll tell you, in the United States have crappy health insurance. I do not have long or short-term disability. And the last time I did have short-term disability through a dialysis company, I ended up in the hospital and then was out of work for a month and a half, and my ex-husband got all of it in child support payments. So I sold off my Gauntlet 2 arcade machine. I sold off a ton of stuff just to make my rent payment so that I keep the roof over my head. So financially, over the last number of years, it has not been the greatest thing. But all I have to do is make it this year. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, Paranor said that the article he tried to link, stem cell transplant techniques result from an international trial show that it was able to stop the disease and improve the symptoms. My husband, thankfully, is in a program through the University of Minnesota right now, a research study to see if they're trying, you know, medication combinations and stuff, and see what helps with it. So he's getting medical care for free right now. Steve says he has RA. It's not bad yet. We don't know if I have rheumatoid arthritis yet. The fluid sacs for lubricating the joint behind my ankles, behind the Achilles tendon, swell up and get extremely painful. My joints, my muscles all over, so it's looking more and more like I've got RA. And then, of course, all the nerve damage in my neck and the torn rotator cuffs and everything. So I have the compression fractures and I have decaying discs and stuff. So it's getting harder and harder to move. And I used to be a horse trainer. Doggone it. I don't know if I could even sit on a horse anymore. I think I might actually be ready to start let's turn this around. Boy, I got this rack from another pagan who is a very famous pagan author, and she works with bones and animal parts and stuff. Her name is Lupa Greenwolf. And I got this rack from her. It's just this big wooden rack. And it works out really, really nice. So what I have is this little rubbery tripod that you can bend the legs and stuff that I paid $9 for on Amazon. I think 9, maybe 6. And so I actually have that wrapped around the wooden rack right now because I have to get longer bolts for a piece of the rack to actually lock my phone into it because my iPhone is too wide. Well, thank you for stopping by, Steve. He's got to go. Yeah, Paranor says we have vengeful... Yeah, I'm not repeating that one. That we have vengeful healthcare. I swear we really do in this country. It's just terrible. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. We seem to have this thing where people think that healthcare is a massive freebie. And you know what kind of annoys me is that it used to be when I was in nursing school, and this was back in the 90s. I graduated in 96 from RN program. We were taught that prevention saves cost on healthcare, but you have to be able to have access to healthcare to help with prevention. And we're not, it has gone so far away from that. Nobody seems to understand that sort of thing. And it baffles me. You know, it just absolutely surprises me that we seem to have gotten away from that. And that's why there's this rise in the health woo and the health gurus and stuff. They're taking advantage of this, and they're making money off of it. And people don't realize how much money they're spending on all these things that are not going to work. That it's snake oil being sold again. But people are desperate to hang on to something to keep themselves out of the hospital. And it's fully understandable. But it's turned into this anti-science, anti-medicine, hate people thing going on. And it's just hard. Yeah. Paranor says how U.S. healthcare is set up, it punishes the person for life, much like the culture. Healthcare needs to be like car care. Always check the oil and fill when needed, else your car isn't going to last long. Exactly. And that's what we're losing. We are absolutely losing that. But, you know, these people are going so far against the whole system that they're blaming the people that work in the system. Scientist Mel is not the only one who's been called a Nazi by people. I have too. And one of the big questions I end up asking people, you know, that are like, well, medicine is witchcraft, it's pharmacology and all of this, and it's like, yeah, which is actually chemistry, which is why I had 2 years of chemistry in college. But it's not witchcraft and Satanism and all of that, because I'm sorry, some of the kids that I've had 2 kids over the years with heart transplants. They have to take medications so that their bodies don't reject their hearts. And they die if their heart is rejected, you know? I'm sorry. What do you do if you're anti-medication? What do you tell that child, and what do you tell their family? And they've got her on a very healthy diet. She is on a fantastic diet. The one. The other one I've lost touch with over the years because her mother moved out of state. But that little girl has to take anti-rejection medication the rest of her life, or she's going to die. And so are these people comfortable with that? And it just pisses me off. Because it's utter stupidity. They have bought into this anti-science woo. And it's like, what is the matter with you people? But I think that's what it is they're grasping on anything. They're afraid of being dependent on the healthcare system. And that's making them grasp at anything at all. Paranor says the anti-science medicine hate is a reaction to the punishing you for living because they're desperate to be saved, and money is the god they're rejecting. And unfortunately, the money priests control the salvation of healthcare. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. That's exactly what's happening. And it's hard to just stand back and watch this go on, which is why I can't move it right now because it's an extremely heavy book and it's holding down this rack that's holding everything. But G-Man's favorite source lately has been the Prescription for Nutritional Healing, which I bought a copy of this back in 2000 when it was published, the second edition. And I'm going to attempt, I don't know how much patience I will have or time, but I'm going to attempt to do videos page by page going through the quote science of this book. I think, considering, let's see, how many pages is this thing? Let's see. Well, it's about 600 pages. I may be at that for the rest of my born days. But it's there's some good, the hard part is that there's good stuff mixed with woo. And it's trying to ferret out what reality and fantasy is. Let's see. Paranor says R&D doesn't set the price of the science, but the people there are lumped into people that do set the price. So because humans love to group things, they're hated and the science is rejected. Save yourself the energy and give him links to what's already been produced. Trouble with G-Man is he believes whom he thinks is in authority, and you're not there for him, others are. Well, I've tried. And he said he was going to contact me, and he wants to do a hangout with me, just, you know, but he didn't say what the goal is. I'm not interested in a debate. I just want to sit and talk. You know, so we'll see how that goes. But I had done the one video for him talking about the inheritance of certain diseases, that there are genetic diseases, and that, yeah, there is such a thing as generational curses. And what the generational curses were was our ancient cultures thinking that these diseases were brought on by curses and devils, and they didn't understand what inheritance was. So they'd see a child be born with the same thing that the father and the grandfather had, and so they thought it was a curse. And for some of those diseases, yeah, they are a curse, I'll tell you. And Huntington's, yeah. Down syndrome, RA, I can't remember half of them. There's genetic mutations that are inherited. There's all sorts of stuff. Cancers. They're finding inheritance in Alzheimer's. Autism is another one they're finding inheritance with. So, yeah, there are genetic diseases, and he did not understand that. So I did a whole video. He says he watched it. He never responded to it. So I guess, you know, I reached out, but if I can maybe guide somebody else in the right direction with my efforts, then so be it. If I'm going to be, I'm hoping that I can slow down and be a nurse out doing primary care, or retire, and at that point, do I want to let my knowledge go to waste, or do I want to pass it on? You know, so that's where I'm sitting. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I might lose my patience with the whole project, who knows? We'll see. For all these detailed things I do and taking care of kids and stuff, I really do not have a lot of patience. I have a bad temper. I'm terrible. Now let's see, I want to leave enough background on this that there's going to be areas that they can just do solid color or whatever they want. I like to leave negative spaces in the piece. go. This came out really cool. For all the flames, I'm going to have to do scales on the whole body, but the scales, I don't really have to pre-draw all of them. So I've got some good pens. Let's see. Paranor said, when one believes humans are made from dirt, cannot even conceive of genetic inheritability. Sin is their judgmental measurement. Tommy Hall tried to explain how sin is passed like DNA. It was hilarious. And stupid it is as stupid does. Yeah. Oh, Tommy Hall is something else. He is repulsive. Absolutely repulsive. And I just hope to kiss a duck. I've had to kiss a few ducks. That people are not taking him seriously. And that they're not taking G-Man's parroting seriously. Because right now he is parroting what he sees. And that includes Freely the Banana Girl. God's help us all. It's just terrifying to think that. Gee, the cats have been quiet. Any noise you're hearing in the background, that's the guinea pigs, of course. Oh, Tommy Hall is the same personality as a homosexual diva, wagging their finger back and forth. Yeah. Except I think the diva can be more entertaining. I didn't say that. Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. Okay, I actually think I might be ready to ink this bugger. Which means I can work on that at work tonight. But yeah, that's how my fire horse came out. I did a fire god one before, doing equines and the different elements. But I think this one's going to be a lot better. And I had one that was a really, really old drawing that I did back in high school that I've got some of the similar shapes to it. But I think for a coloring book, that's going to be a lot of detail, and I'm going to put some detail lines in here, but that's going to be more shading lines to guide people, I think, than anything else. But not too much, because I want people to be able to do their own thing. It kind of is about doing your own thing now, I guess. You know, now that I reached 50. I gotta do my own thing. Let's see. The diva would be more entertaining because they're honest about it. Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, I'm going to have to do lines in the hairs here. And that that doesn't require me penciling in the head. Same thing with the hairs at the shoulder here. All of this is going to jump out a lot more once I have it all inked. The only thing you can own is yourself, to be you, and have to do your own thing. Hi, Mirko. You can try. Hopefully I can give you some decent advice, but you can try. A girlfriend of mine. Ugh. Yeah, that is very much the case, I think. She is gonna find out eventually. I think you have to go with your gut feeling on this one and do what you feel is right at this point. And if he beats the crap out of you, you get the police, you know. You have to follow your instincts on this one. But just realize if he tries to beat you up, that's assault, you know. But I had, over the years, I had people dropping me hints all the time as to what my ex was doing. And I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And I even met his girlfriends, and I still didn't believe it. Because I trusted him and I trusted what he was telling me. So it may, you could probably mention it to her, but that is up to you. She may or may not believe you. And if that is a decision that you decide to do, yeah. Okay, you enjoy your day too. Yeah, I can't tell anybody what to do. I can say what the possibilities are, and that's about it, you know. And I know where I have been in my life, and yeah, I did not believe it. He had a baby with the one girl. And they're married now. And they're made for each other. But, I mean, the state of denial that a person can be in, and this is regarding religion, this is regarding relationships, anything like that. He showed me letters from his employer talking about the inappropriate relationships he was having at work. And then told me things like, well, this, you know, they're against me, and they're just trying to get rid of me, and they're trying to do this and do that, and I believed it. Yeah, we all have our Dunning-Kruger, and once you realize it, you just leave it behind. Yeah. But I think what the thing with G-Man is, though, is that is a starting point for maybe me to affect somebody else's life out there, whether... Oh, you're welcome, Miko. Maybe not affecting him, but maybe somebody else might listen. And, you know, especially if there's somebody with cancer or something like that, that they'll go on and continue with the medical help and get away from the woo. And if I can help one person, then the effort's probably going to be worth it. And I may never know, and that's okay. You know? And then it might be kind of interesting for a while, too, because that means I have to study chemistry and stuff again. So it's kind of a good project for me, too. Oh, yeah. Paranor says, remember to go mad. It only requires yourself to go crazy, requires other people. And it harkens back to what he said about whom G-Man believes are his authorities. It's his environment holding him back. Oh, you're welcome, Mirko. Just remember, you make your own decision. I can't tell you. All I could do is just tell you what may or may not happen. I don't like telling anybody what to do unless it's like, you know, specific medical question or something like that, then I can, you know, but relationships are a rough thing regardless. And like I said, if anybody does try to assault you, that's police territory at that point, but don't provoke anything either. So And maybe your best decision might be to just let it go. You know, that's up to you. But hopefully it works out for her especially. You know, so just see what happens. Well, I have been on for an hour and a half. My throat's getting sore. I've been talking this whole time. I did get the penciling done on this guy, though, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, he came out pretty cool. I love drawing horses. I love horses so much. I miss riding. Horses are awesome. Yeah, Paranor's got some good advice, Mirko. Only way to not get involved in a trolley car is to not go towards the switch. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But now I have to see if I can get... Last time I did a live hangout, and I tried to close it down on my phone, YouTube completely and utterly crashed, and I had a 0K hangout, and it deleted everything. So, we're going to see how this works here. I hope I can get this right. Otherwise, I might have to start doing these on Twitch and then just uploading them. Yeah, YouTube, oh my God. And it's kind of worse on an iPhone. I have no trouble streaming or anything on my main computer. Right now I'm watching the chat on my laptop in my art room. But when it comes to mobile devices, and it's worse on my Kindle Fire, I cannot watch live chats on the Kindle Fire. I have to go into the browser on the Kindle Fire, go over to YouTube's URL, and watch a live chat from there. Because all of the YouTube apps, because Amazon and YouTube and Google have been having issues with each other. So all of the YouTube apps do not allow for live chat. And it just annoys the daylights out of me. It's like, okay, so many people use their mobile devices. Why are we so against having things work on a mobile device? You know? But I am going to attempt to close this down. So thank you, Paranor, for coming by. Thank you, Mirko. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Blue. And it's saying orientation is locked. Switch the device back. There's my ugly, tired mug. Not ugly, just tired. But anyway, you guys have a fantastic night. I'm going to go and get myself some food, and I haven't eaten yet. And yeah, there's my messy art room so far. Leftover supplies from the event this weekend, and a sleeping cat. Yeah, so I've got stuff stacked all over. I have a lot of organizing to do yet again, so that's my task today. Yeah, art room isn't an art room unless it's messy. Exactly. All right, I'm going to try and close this out. Let's see if I can do this. All right, blessed be everybody. Boy, I hope this saves. No, that ain't it. Ugh. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Oh, there's a creeper in the corner.